Shipping Manager best routes. People often ask, what are the best routes in Shipping Manager? Most of my routes start over here in this area from a port that has a dry dock, but not always. So we'll check to see if this has a dry dock. There is a place over here, it says at port with dry dock. So you want to have a dry dock on at least one of your ports. It's going to make the game a lot easier. So I go over here and I find a port that has a dry dock in this area up here in the north. And then what I do is I bring it down as far as I can go. You see that I've got a lot of ships over here. There's actually 6 at this port. Unfortunately, it doesn't show the route. Oh, there it is. And you can see it goes up to the north. Okay, so why are these good routes? You want to avoid this area. If you go to this area, there's going to be pirates. They're going to hijack your ship. It will also happen over here, but perhaps less often. And it might happen over here in the Caribbean, but I'm not sure. You want to stick to Europe and the United States first, and then maybe South America, and then Australia and Asia. Avoid anything that you think is not a Western nation, and you'll avoid the pirates. It's going to cost you millions of dollars to get your ship back. Number 2, try to start from a port with a dry dock up here in the north. You don't have to do it, but what's going to happen is it might thin out. You might have fewer ports, and you want to get the longest range possible. This has got to be a long range route, right? Okay, so that's where the route goes. That's 5,400 nautical miles. I usually am able to get a route that is 95% of the distance that the ship is capable of. If you want, you could just as well start in the United States and head towards South America or head towards Europe. I would guess that these are all going to Europe. Maybe not that one. Obviously, I do have some older vessels that don't travel quite as far. That's obviously one of them. And at some point you want to sell them. Once you hit your limit, once you get to around 30 vessels, you're going to want to sell your smaller vessels and upgrade them to larger vessels. It hasn't been the hour yet. The price updates in 22 minutes. Hopefully we'll get a good price, and then I'll depart my ships. So you might want to know what these red circles are. I think you already know. It shows you that you've got many vessels at that particular port. I don't know if there's any ports in Antarctica. I know that there's, maybe it's FlyCorp where you can go to Antarctica, but not this game. So I've got this one over here. It's a little strange. It's not consistent with a lot of my other vessels. It is a long range route, and look at where it goes. And then I'll try this one over here, and you see that one goes to South America. So, not hijack proof. I believe it shows you the risk. risk assessment over here, and it says 0%. So that is how you check to see if there's a chance you might have a problem. And notice the distance is 10,700. That's basically what you're going to have to do to go a long distance and not risk going through the pirate area, which has a higher risk. I'm pretty sure that my vessels in this area have a higher risk assessment. This one says 0. That one says 0. I'm not going to check all of them, obviously. But that's basically where it is. If I run one through the Middle East, that value is going to go up. And over here it's 0. Okay, so that's how you figure out the routes. In terms of the demand, you really don't have to worry about it. The vessels, I'm going to use this one for example, it's 220 TEU, and the demand is like 11,000. So I can do like 50 times 50 of these, and look at how long that range is. This is one of my bigger ships. I could run 50 of them on that route, and I'm not going to use up all the cargo. So you got a lot of room to grow. I've never found a route that didn't have enough cargo. And you can only have like 30 ships. You're going to find 30 routes easy. Even though there's 6 that came into this area, they're going to different places. And this one actually does go inland. The reason why I did that is I figured that it was going to have a lower risk, and because it was probably the only route available. The routes, I'm going to show you an example. You want to click dry operation. You see that there's not that many. You see the blue ports, there's really just not that many. And I just chose to go inland on that route. Okay, so that is a little bit of information about Shipping Manager Best Routes. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.